If you're like me, the list never ends. And no matter how much you get done, there was always more. There was always more I could have gotten done if I had just gotten up earlier, if I had just done it right. And yet, here we are, 4 p.m. on a Sunday, and the anxiety is kicking. So, time for a little reset. And that's what I'm going to offer you here. I'm not feeling super anxious right now, but I could really use a lie down. If you are feeling some of the Sunday scaries, feeling a little bit of anxiety, or just need a little break, this is a great way to do it. If meditation's not in your practice, but you would like to do more meditation, but find that it's physically uncomfortable, this is kind of the perfect thing to do instead. We're going to do a little mindfulness, but we're going to do it lying down on our back on the floor. So it's going to feel very luxurious. And I'm not going to ask you to investigate your thoughts too much, but I'll give you some things to think about, help you stay in the moment, help you come back to the present, help feel a little more grounded at the end, and hopefully a little less stressed, a little less anxious if that's where you're starting. So, Sunday's scary or not, let's hop on the floor and um I forgot to get everything. Okay, well now I have my props that I need. So I have coasters, but you can use coasters or you can use just a few books. This is just going to be to prop up your head. If the back of your head is quite sensitive, I would use a few books and a towel placed over the books, but you don't want to do anything like a pillow. You just need a little bit more firm contact. So that's all you need, something to prop up your head and a floor. So we are lying on the floor and not like on the couch or the bed for a reason. So there is something to. Wait, should I have introduced myself? I'm Serena and I'm an Alexander Technique teacher. It's a mindful whole body practice that helps you feel more grounded and let go of excess tension. So I can talk more about that later, but you're going to lie down on your back, bend your knees so that your feet are flat on the floor. Put your coasters, in my case, or a few books, which is sounds much more likely, um, a few books under your head. You want enough support under your head that your head is not thrown back, but not so much that your chin is like really in your chest. So find a sweet spot somewhere in between. Err on the side of a little bit of a higher support under your head than lower. We don't want your head to be thrown back. And once you've landed here on your back on the floor, on either a rug or a yoga mat, a firm surface that, isn't too uncomfortable, and just land here for a moment. Maybe when you lie on the floor, when you take a little rest, you don't tend to take this position. So kind of notice how it's a little different to be on your back with your knees bent, feet on the ground. And take a moment to notice all your points of contact. If you're still looking at your phone or screen to see where I'm at, feel free to now kind of look towards the ceiling. I'll be guiding you through everything so you don't have to look. And if you're feeling particularly overstimulated, you're welcome to close your eyes. But I usually recommend this practice with eyes open because it'll help you stay in the room. So once again, make note of all your points of contact. That means your back resting back on the floor, each of your pelvic halves, each foot on the ground, your upper arms, your hands either resting on the floor if that's most comfortable for you. I like to bend at my elbows and rest my hands somewhere on my chest or my torso. Mine are kind of on my stomach, just below my ribs, but you can rest them on your hips a little lower, wherever is comfortable for you. And notice the support your head has with, the books, the coasters in my case. And as you're noticing all these points of contact, take a moment to imagine that the floor is coming up to meet you, and that all you need to do here is really allow yourself to be supported. Where can you let go and undo with this idea that the floor is coming up to meet you? And as you find places to soften, you're still awake and aware of what's going on around you. Maybe there's some kind of white noise in the room. Maybe you hear some sounds outside of your window. Make no effort to tune out these sounds, to try to ignore them. Take them in. Notice what is around you in the room and where you are in relationship to it. Really kind of placing yourself in the space that you're in. And as we start to go a little more internal, paying attention to what's happening within ourselves, we are still interested in where we are in the room. What is happening within and without. And if the thoughts of the day are still kind of turning in your mind, that's okay. Release judgment of that. You're not doing this practice wrong. You're not doing this lie down wrong. And if this is a little uncomfortable for your low back, feel free to kind of gently rock the knees to one side. If you really need it, you can go into a full kind of twist, but I would actually encourage you to do a much smaller, more gentle movement, just a slight kind of releasing of the knees to one side together, and then rocking gently to the other side, just enough that you kind of feel a little bit of a lift through your pelvis, a little bit of adjustment at the low back, and then come back to the middle, releasing your legs away, in your mind's eye, kind of thinking about how your knees can release in the opposite direction of your hips that are resting on the ground. And wherever your thoughts may wander to, come back once again and over again to your points of support. This lie down is luxurious because we're really letting our backs rest. We don't have to hold ourselves upright. And it's a moment to let go of tension that may have accumulated over time that we no longer need. And without the challenge of being upright on your feet, having to keep your head from hitting the ground as you walk around all day, but since we're on our backs, it's easier to let go. There's a little more trust that you're going to be safe to let go of some excess tension because you're not going to fall. So with that in mind, send the idea, the wish, the hope that your neck could be just a little more free. You don't have to fully free your neck. You don't have to let go of all the tension in your neck and shoulders. But what if you let go just a little bit? And as you wish for your neck to be a little more free, maybe your head releases a little bit off the top of your spine so that your back can lengthen and widen. And your knees can release away from your hips. You could even imagine that there are headlights on each of your kneecaps that are shining towards where the wall meets the ceiling in the direction that your legs are facing. If you feel like the thoughts of the day, the anxieties of whatever you need to get to are starting to take over, come back to that wish for your neck to be a little more free. And notice how your attention and your desire for something in yourself can change you. That turning your attention inward, that thinking through this idea of your neck being a little more free, maybe your head releasing away from your tail, a lengthening through your arms as you think your fingertips releasing away from your elbows. But there's nothing for you to do here. We're not doing anything right now. We're doing a lot less. We're laying down. And as you are able to let go of the doing, the muscling through, the lists, the distractions, as you can pay more attention to yourself, notice that releasing can happen, that letting go happens. That if you just think about it, your head releasing away from your tail, your back resting back, your fingertips releasing away from your elbows, that something changes on not just an imaginary level, but physically you are shifting and changing as you lie here. And if you have more time, I would encourage you to stay here for a little longer. But if it's time to go, if you only have 10 minutes, then we'll start to make our way to upright. And I'll guide you through it. If you've already started to make your way up, maybe come back to your back and notice how much you anticipate the next steps. You know, what maybe is already trying to grab now that you know that you have to get up. Is there something that grabbed in your neck, in the shoulders, in your hips that you do not need? As you let your knees drop to one side and cross the opposite arm over the body so that you come into a kind of fetal curve on your side here. So you're not going to be getting up by tensing in your neck. That instead you're going to take all this nice like releasing through your back that you just gave yourself, and you're going to use your arms by pressing your hand into the floor to bring yourself up. And maybe you want to turn and look at me and kind of see how I did that. You know, I came from maybe here to here. And take a moment. This is quite a shift already. We've been here for a little over 10 minutes. Maybe I've cut this video down and it's been only 10 minutes. We'll see. Just take a moment to kind of feel your weight now through your seat, through your hands. Maybe take a moment to kind of scoot and get more onto your seat, to your pelvis. Taking a moment to be maybe a little taller. I'm going to back up because I'm too tall. Taking a moment here to continue to lengthen your head away from tail. Coming back to that idea of wishing your neck to be a little more free even here. And let yourself feel a little different. You've taken a few minutes for yourself. You are different now. You're different now for paying attention to yourself. And I hope that you feel a little bit more in the present moment. Hope your back feels a little less tired. Feel free to do this over and over again. I would even recommend you lying on the floor for a little longer or than 10 minutes if you have the time. But, you know, don't go over like 30 minutes. You might start to feel a little tired in your low back if you do that too fast, too soon. I hope you feel a little more present. I hope hope you feel a little bit more confident in your ability to take care of yourself. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. I'll see you soon. Take care. Do you want to say hello? He's so tired of me. Dante. He's not a huge fan of the camera. Okay, sorry, this is a little bit more of an ending credits. I just wanted to say more about me and the Alexander technique. So, again, my name is Serena Venditto, and I am an Alexander technique teacher. It's a kind of mindful, whole body approach to posture and wellness. And I am very interested in how this work can help people be more mindful, reduce tension and stress and anxiety. That's what this work has done for me. If it sounds interesting, please follow, like, subscribe, all that call to action stuff. Thanks so much for being here, and I hope to see you again soon in the comments because I won't see you in person, but maybe in my classes you'll come. We'll see. Thank you.